Arya, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. Hi, my name is Aria. I am a senior studying engineering psych, and my role in this team is a UX research and product design. So in the past, I interned at RAMP, your pay team as a product design intern, which I'll be returning to as a full-time designer in the summer. Worked at a startup called Unit Health as the only product designer.
Hi, I'm Ramona. I'm also a senior at Tufts studying engineering psychology. My role for this project will also be user experience research plus some user experience design. My previous experience was being a product design intern at Sirius XM slash Pandora, as well as Dassault Systems.
Hi everyone, I'm Allison. I'm also a senior, double majoring in human factors and economics. My role in this project will be focused around content design and UX design. And this past summer, I interned at Sony as a digital media intern and previously have held positions in media and marketing at the Fletcher School here. And on campus, I'm also a consultant for 180 Degrees Consulting.
Hi, hi everyone. I'm Guo. I'm currently a senior studying engineering psychology, and my role in the team will mostly be focused on UX research and also product design. In the past, I've worked as a product design intern at Datadog and also Roblox, and after grad, I'll be going back to Datadog as a full-time product designer.
Hi, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so for the platform that we think we are communicating through is probably Slack. And I know that Gina, you've mentioned this before. Like, I'm not sure like if on our side we should create like a Slack channel and then you guys join ours, or would it be like we all would like join the Slack channel you created?
Yeah, let me check on that because we have to open some access requests on our side to be able to be in a Slack channel with external, people outside of GitLab. So let me check on that to see if we could possibly join an existing channel, and I'll get back to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, and I guess Slack will be our main platform for communicating, and we also created like a Notion site, which I'll show you later, and we plan to use that for like our weekly updates, and there also is going to be our project timeline on that, and we also plan to like put some documentation on there for the project. And as I'm the project manager, as I mentioned before, if you have any like question and stuff, like I can be the main point of contact, and you can either like directly Slack me or email me. And as for our weekly meetings, I'm not sure if this time works for everyone on GitLab team, because for like our meeting right now is actually like the time that works for everyone on the tough side. So, but if this time doesn't work, it would be great if we could all fill out the when to meet so we can find like a time that we can meet. Yeah. And as of for our deliverables, we created a shared Google Drive folder. So every time we have like a new update, we'll be uploading it to that folder, and you all can like access it directly from there. Mhm.
And yeah, I'll very quickly go over the project overview based on the document that was shared to us. So overview is to explore how companies can improve their planning process by using the GitLab issue boards. Next slide. And yeah, so mostly in terms of expectation, it's evaluate the usefulness and impact of the board for agile sprint planning, and also speak with real GitLab users to understand their needs. Oh, understand their needs better around agile sprint planning, and also create proposals based on the insights gathered. And in terms of, so we looked over the project scope, and one question that we had is, can the team explain the pain points behind the problem space and also the scope of the project?
Do you want us to jump in on that now or wait till after?
Let's actually, yeah, we can leave it at the very end. And then I can take notes at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're planning on like following the design process to tackle the problem, like going from the initial discovery phase to like competitive analysis, like interviewing users, as well as like documenting our like research and exploration process. And after that, we plan on like kind of like making a user journey map or like user flows to decide like what would work for, like how things are currently set up on the back end and also how people are accomplishing their tasks. And then after that, we'll like create some wireframes and then get feedback from the GitLab team as well as potential users. And then we'll also be using the pajamas design system to create high fidelity designs and prototype. And then we'll just like keep iterating and testing from there. And yeah, this is just like a rough outline of our approach, and definitely like totally open to any feedback, and we want to like learn more about how GitLab designers approach like tackling problems like this as well.
Yeah, so on your left is the list of deliverables past teams has presented for GitLab. So we will definitely be having some overlaps in terms of the ones you see before you.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, we created like a Notion, and just I'm not sure. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, this is kind of what it looks like right now, and it's kind of marking like the different milestones and like kind of the overarching like themes that we have for each week, I guess. So like project kickoff, research, and these are like kind of some deliverables that we have due for both our classes and like what we plan to have for delivering to GitLab as well. So this will like change. I feel like it will change as we go. But one thing I wanted to point out was that we have spring break in March, from March 16th to March 24th. So I think that's gonna be like a period of time where like it progress is gonna be a bit like stagnant. But other than that, we're gonna keep on having progress. Yeah. But that's just something I wanted to um point out. And I'm not sure if this has already been shared with you, but if not, then I could share it with you after this meeting. Um,
So we do compiled our questions to you, and I'm wondering if I should just like go through the question and you answer, or should we just like go by one?
We could, is this your last slide? Because we could just go one by one, if so.
I think this is like we have like a next step slide, and this is like the second to last part. Okay, yeah, sure. So in terms of research, I'm wondering like, do you have any relevant contacts such as GitLab PMs and software engineers that we can get in contact with? If I guess like if we are implementing this in the future.
Martin, I think you had added a response.
Yep. Sorry. Yep. Hi, my name is Martin. I'm a senior tech writer at GitLab, and luckily, one of the groups, the feature group that I cover in GitLab is project management, who develop issue boards. So I saw your questions like 10 minutes before the meeting. I also tried getting the project management UX designer to join us, but he wasn't able today. But he was kind to share some answers to the questions that I pasted below. But as to contacts, the project management, the product manager, product designer, and UX researcher from that group said they were happy to help. I'm just confirming that they are okay with me sharing their contact details, and I will share them when I have confirmation.
Okay, yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah. I think once if they're like comfortable sharing their details, maybe just like add their emails or like contact into the Google Doc, that would be great. My next questions is, are there like any pre-existing research we can use? For example, like competitive analysis or like other issue boards or like user research, which I think we already saw some like user research part on the Google Doc, which is great.
Yes, so we also added a project in GitLab where we used a markdown file to compile a bunch of insights that have already been looked at. I added the link to our agenda doc, but I'll put it in our chat. Hopefully you can. It's a public project, so you should be able to access it. This project also, as a side note, you could use it. We would definitely suggest you sign up with a GitLab account just so that you can go in there and like play around with issue boards and see how the product works. So you can use that project as your working ground to whatever you want to add in there. But anyway, so this, I'll just share my screen real quick. Do you mind if I share my screen? Okay. Oh, I can't. It's disabled.
I think
For
Fi
me.
to go to like there's like a security thing and change it to like sharing screen.
Yay, okay, that worked, thank you. All right, are you seeing this markdown file?
Yep.
Yeah. So we added a lot of good links here as for just if you wanted some background as to like how the feature works, what the direction page, we use direction pages to show or communicate what we plan to do with that feature in the future. So if you wanted to see future plans, you could also do that. I added some persona stuff, but then this is where the good research insights come into play. The UX researcher for the team just performed a benchmarking study where they got these really great insights. So to summarize, the being able to parse the boards today and the different items that are on the boards is not easy for users. Some specific things that there were some metadata problems there as well, like the title and basically where different items show up on each of the tiles. And then there's a few other insights that we have here. We also, a few of the people that from GitLab that joined today use issue boards. I do not use it for my normal like organization, but there was a lot of comments as for pain points that they've gone through while using issue boards just to organize their own work on a day-to-day GitLab life type of thing. So this is probably the best place. And if you need more, let us know. We can get you in touch. We just need to, because of all the confidential data that we're dealing with, we just need to bring it into this document rather than giving you access to like past recordings and stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you so much for showing us.
Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen again. Yeah, but after questions,
We can also go through the questions in the agenda if you've copied them there.
yeah.
Of
Is my screen shared?
yeah. Fa, could you move to the previous page?
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have a question regarding like how do we collect users for our own research too?
Yes, so we will help you with that. The way it works at GitLab is we have a recruiting issue that we create, and we ask for specific personas to be recruited. And then we use Calendly to set up what times we're available. And then if participants are available, they'll book an appointment with us. So we will be able to help you with that. Just let us know when the time comes that you need to recruit. Recruiting usually takes, worst case, it would take up to 7 days. So maybe just incorporate that into your plan. It's typically much sooner than that, but just so you have a idea of timeline.
Okay, yeah. We will definitely let you know beforehand if we're going to conduct user research. Another thing is like, can you share some details about like our users in terms of their roles, characteristics, like so far as you know from the existing research?
Martin, did you want to take this one? Okay.
Sorry, I mean, I don't have much more to say than what I pasted. So I've added a link to our user personas in our handbook. As I don't do a lot of research, so maybe some other people on the call can talk more about it. But as far as I'm aware, the users using issue boards are mostly Parker, product manager. Well, I don't. Okay, you can go through them and you can find out. I'm not gonna make it up on this spot.
Yeah.
I can speak a little bit to this. Hi, I'm Chad.
Hi.
I don't work directly with the team that builds this product, but I work within their area of the product. So I've spoken with the PMs who own this and the designers who work on it. At a really high level, the people who are using these boards are going to be the people who are planning work to do. So, product managers, project managers, scrum masters, and then the people who are doing that work. So developers, maybe designers, maybe copywriters. There may be some users at kind of a higher management level who are looking into it, but they're probably looking at other parts of the product for analytic data.
Okay, yeah. So I think we can just like build, user persona or like detailed research based on like those roles. But yeah, thank you so much for your insight. Yeah, fine. Next slide. In terms of like design prototyping and testing, what are some expectation on the final design deliverables? For example, like fidelity of designs or handoff documentation or like engineering spec, anything or like this kind of thing.
I think as far as design, and then Chad, maybe you can talk about handoff more, but design, we have a Figma library that has all of our GitLab components built out. And so as far as like ease for making the designs, that's probably easiest for you to use just so that you don't have to recreate things that already exist in the UI. It's open for community, so I'll add the link, and as long as you're comfortable using Figma, you could definitely do that. If not, you're open to using other tools, like that's fine. I'm just putting that out there as it's already, it might speed up the process.
Right. So the design system you were talking about, was it like the pajamas design system?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sounds awesome. Oh yeah, okay. That's basically answering the second question too. Okay, in terms of like products, I guess can you explain like the pain points behind the problem scope and space? This question was also the question Guo asked earlier.
So I've shared the answers that I got to. I don't see the question about pain points here, and I don't have that answer at the moment. But I shared the answers that I got from Nick, the UX designer. If you'd like me to read it out loud, or I don't know. It lists the competitors. And then
Yeah, we can definitely like look more into it too. Another thing is like, who are the main competitors of GitLab? If there's like any, I guess,
Mhm.
research or like, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, so I was actually talking about this question because I was looking at the agenda. Yep. So what Nick says is specifically to the plan features of GitLab and features related to boards. These are DevOps platform competitors, including GitHub, Azure DevOps, and JetBrains. And project management specific competitors such as Atlassian Jira, Digital AI, Asana, and ClickUp. Many organizations are using combinations of these products today or combinations of these and GitLab.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We can definitely like look more into those competitors in order for us to like make decisions as well as knowing like what is the niche point of GitLab. I guess one question about like the issue board itself is what is the strengths of the GitLab issue board comparing to like other issue boards?
For the previous question, Chad, do you want to vocalize on iType?
Sorry?
Sorry, Chad was adding a comment in
Oh,
the agenda.
Sorry, I was just adding under the answer for that. I would say definitely the main competitor to the board's functionality is Jira.
Okay, noted. Yep.
And then as for strengths, what Nick said, at the high level, it's within a broader DevOps platform, allowing users to easily see the flow of work on a board and then dig deeper to see a detailed view of implementation all in one product. Within the board itself, issue boards are more configurable than many competitor boards. Users can create boards for any view they need from the same place, while competitor boards are often more rigid. For example, they can only have lists by status. And then Amy has a comment.
Thanks. A single platform from start to finish so that users and managers don't have to jump around from tool to tool.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, for sure. Is there like any related feature? Is this related to features that you're hoping to ship in the future?
And I'm also relaying the answer here. We're always looking to improve boards, but more generally, we're planning a deep dive into rethinking how boards and lists work with saved views. And there's a link in the agenda for that, which will present a great opportunity to incorporate usability enhancements. I've also linked another epic where we're also changing how items open in the board.
Okay.
And speaking from myself, and that might also flow into your question about pain points, is currently we have issue boards and we can view issues on those boards. Where a more recently created feature is our epic boards, where you can view epics, which are more high-level objects than issues, but they don't really intermingle on one board. So the long-term vision is to have boards that are, like I said, more configurable, and then like, let users define what types of objects they want to see there.
Yeah. Thank you for the insights.
Yeah, so moving on, this is a very rough outline of what we'll be doing for our next steps. Of course, it'll be subject to change, but essentially we want to understand the users and identify the problem on a deeper level so we are able to approach it holistically from all points. Furthermore, we will be doing additional research on the competitors, like Jira that you guys have mentioned, and cross-analyzing features across the board. And in addition, we'll be scheduling users to talk with or observe for the user research aspect of our project.
Yeah, so this is the end of our like presentation as of now. And yeah, if you all have like any questions for us or expectations that see for this project, feel free to like uh
Thank you for presenting. That was a really good overview. Maybe it would be good for us to just start with intros, just so we can introduce ourselves to you. Does that sound good? Okay, I can start. I'm Gina. I went to Tufts. I graduated in 2018. I also studied human factors. I've been at GitLab for, I think, over 2.5 years. It's gone by super fast. We all work remotely so that we're spread across the whole world, which is really cool. And I live in central Massachusetts, probably like an hour away from Tufts. And yeah, I'm a product designer. I work on CI/CD, which is not the stuff that we're concentrating in this project, but it does sort of relate to project planning, I guess. It more has to do with pipelines and allowing for like continuous integration and deployment. And Chad, do you want to go? I saw your face first.
Sure. Hi everybody. I'm Chad. I live in New York City. I work on a kind of new team here at GitLab that's called the UX Paper Cuts team. We're basically like a user experience problem fix-it team that works across the platform. My role actually specifically, I do that kind of work, but within our plan vertical. So I'm kind of seeking out and fixing, like usability rough spots within the software planning part of our user lifecycle. So that includes boards, but it also includes things like, there are a bunch of little bits across the platform that this team owns. So like anywhere that you're doing like text editing is owned by that team. Anywhere that you're doing like epic planning is part of that team. So I'm doing kind of usability improvements within that. Most of my work is actually technical. I'm mostly working in code. I very rarely actually touch Figma or create design files, but that's kind of my remit. Oh, and also I was the one who proposed this project. I'm very excited that you picked it because it could use some fresh ideas.
I'll go next. I'm Amy, last name's Qualls. I am not originally from Portland, Oregon, but that's where I live now. I am a technical writer. I've been at GitLab for a little over 4 years. I focus on the merge requests area of GitLab, which is one of the first experiences that most people have. Marcin?
Hi, so you've already heard me speak. I'm Marcin Sandłak-Jakubowski, but I won't ask you to pronounce that. I live in Warsaw, Poland, and I've been with GitLab for a bit over 4 years now. As tech writers, we get assigned to groups to support. And like I said, I've been with the groups working on this part of the product that you're going to be researching for over 3 years. So I know the features. I'm happy to help. Also, as you've heard, I'm not as good as at speaking as a kind of product manager, kind of selling our features, but I'm happy to show you how they work.
One of the questions that we had for you all at Tufts was, and we asked this last year too, we just want to get an idea what skills you're all individually hoping to learn or improve on through this project. Because if there's other things that we can help you with, let's say if you wanted to learn more about designing in Figma or about how we use content on our documentation site, etc., engineering stuff. Yeah, we just want to understand that from you so we can help you in the best way. If you don't have the answer right now, also let us know. We can talk about it next time. It's kind of a big question.
Yeah, I have a few things. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna like put it on a doc so it's probably easier to follow in case my audio break out. But yeah, like I'm hoping to like learn more about doing user research in like a more technical B2B space because I've always been like interested in doing design more, but I also want to like improve my research skills. And I'm curious to learn more about the GitLab design process too, because I want to understand like how to quickly understand a problem space with like very minimal context. And like what's your process for like disambiguating problems, like priorities, and kind of come up with the right requirements. And lastly is just how to distinguish like good designs from bad designs when you have like multiple iterations and you can't really tell like which one is better.
Yeah, I also I'll put down some of the stuff that I wrote down in the talk as well. Yeah, so some that I wrote include like working with technical writers on project. That's a very new experience for me. And then also similar to what Ariel said, it's like how to conduct user research and extract insights with external users for more B2B type products. And then this project is also a new opportunity for me to dive into a more technical space that I'm not super familiar with, just learn quickly and also iterate and design. And then lastly, experience firsthand what is it like to work in a team that's like fully async. And also I looked into like GitLab's like open model and just how the company is run, and I think it's a really interesting like collaboration model. Yeah, I'm excited to like experience it firsthand and work with the team.
Yeah, I can go next. Yeah, basically what Ariad and Guo said is also like a part of what I want to learn from this experience. I guess like specifically, I also want to kind of like learn the communication between the design team and the, let's say, development team. Because from my past experience, there's always some kind of like, communication issues or like, the developer doesn't like understand what the design team is doing. So I'm just wondering like what's the GitLab approach in terms of like the, I guess, cross-functional team communication. Another thing I would love to learn is I actually don't know much about like technical writing or like the role of technical writers. And then it's really exciting to see that on this team we have like two amazing tech writers. So I would love to learn more about your role as well as like what do you like what's your role in this whole I guess development of this product. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I would just say a lot of what I wanted to learn echoes off of what everyone has said so far, but essentially this would also be my first time approaching and entering a technical project. So I'm very interested in learning more about the softwares within this landscape and how the ecosystem can facilitate conversations between PMs, designers, and developers. Since in my past work, as mentioned previously by someone else, there usually is a gap. So kind of seeing how we can improve the platform responsible for coordinating these different deliverables would be very interesting. And also, I am very interested in learning more about the technical writer role as well, because this is my first time hearing about it. So it's very interesting to me. And overall, I'm just very excited to be on this project from the beginning to also creating our final deliverable.
Oh yeah, as for me, yeah, I think everyone has already said most of what I want to learn about as well. But I like for my past internship, I worked on like some internal tools before, so I like kind of have experience with like working cross-functionally with both like design product team and like developers. But I also want to learn more about um kind of what Ramona said, like how to um, present your work or like kind of document things well so that both designers, when they like kind of take off like a project, they can like understand like the scope and like go straight into like designing quickly. And kind of, I just want to understand how the timeline and like the process can be kind of molded so that both there isn't really like a big interruption between like the development process for both developers and designers. Mhm.
Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot of good stuff there. And at GitLab, we do things documentation is a huge part of our process at GitLab. We have like links for literally everything, I think. And we will definitely come up with some good responses back to this. Next time we meet, maybe we'll have some stuff. But this is great. Thank you for giving us that idea of what you want to learn. Anybody else have anything to say before I move to those admin things at the end? No? Okay. Actually, before I move on to the admin things, are there anything that you feel blocked on that you would need information on before you move on to do whatever work you're doing next week?
I do have a question on, oh, Fa, could you like screen share the document, like the Google Doc? I do have a question in terms of like your previous user research. Could you scroll to wait, is it this one? Like the one with like all the results of like the user research insights.
Oh, the README file. I'll
Yeah.
share it. Yeah, I can share it. This, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. So this
Okay.
graph, like the green graph here.
Yep.
Do you mind just like walking through, I guess, like how this research is conducted? Like I see lots of numbers like 4.5 out of 5. Like how did you come up with this number? How did you come up with this system?
Yes. Okay. So this specific method of research is called a benchmarking. I think it's just benchmarking process. I'm going to send you a link because, like I said, we have links for everything, but it really does descriptively go into how things are scored. As far as benchmarking, we use different types of scoring. What would you call them? Scoring methods, I guess, to come up with the final score versus some of our other types of methods. We only use like a single rating to be able to come up with that final score. But for this one, a benchmarking process takes a lot longer. For a research method, it's probably 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
They were looking at specific workflows. So for this one, I think there was 4 workflows that they looked at. Typically, the workflows include more than just one feature that they're testing. So they're looking at like a larger experience rather than just saying, how does this feature perform siloed out from the rest of the experience? And I can also send you exactly what workflows they were testing out here, just so you can get an idea of like what the goal was, I guess, for the user. But yeah, I think if I send you the link, it's probably better than me just like rambling on, because I've never actually run one of these. This is something that our UX research team specializes in. I've never run it.
Oh yeah, that'd be very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We should also point out, I don't know if any of you have like gone and looked at this or whatever, but GitLab, because we're an all remote company, we're all over the world. We are a handbook first organization. Our handbook is public. Well, the public handbook is publicly accessible. We have an internal one for sensitive information, but public handbook is publicly accessible and is our like single source of truth for kind of the way that we do things at GitLab. So if you have any questions about like processes that we have or whatever, it might be in there. It's worth going and giving a look.
That's another thing that's very unique to GitLab. I have never worked at a company like this, and it was one of the reasons why I joined GitLab, actually, is because everything was documented and made me very happy. It's how I work.
And that plays into how some of our answers come out. You will hear us say, oh, let's give you a link to something. That's not us just trying to brush you off. That is, let's give you the source of truth.
Yeah, and to Amy's point, that's a cultural thing at GitLab. We prefer to like respond to a question with a link to documentation if it exists. So that, yeah, that's not being brusque. That's just our way.
Cool. Any other blockers or questions? All right, let me move on to those admin related things just so that we get those out of the way. So we are going to send you out an NDA just because of the research. We have some confidential. We follow a safe framework, and there are specific things that we keep confidential at GitLab. So in order for you to look into the research, we need you to sign the NDA. I already talked to your professor about it, so she's aware. And you gave me the emails for that. I'm going to look into the Slack channel as far as if we can join one that you've already created or if we have to create our own, and I'll get back to you through email for that. And then lastly, it looks like you've all already signed up for GitLab, which is terrific. I'm going to add you to that project that I was showing beforehand, just so that you can play around with all the features that we have. You can create issues and then therefore create an issue board from there. But I've also linked an example issue board in that resources file that I was sharing beforehand, which is accessible through the project. So you could always just like go to that if you want to see a live example. Amy, do you want to say yours?
Yeah, I realized we also haven't really talked about what you should expect from us as people who are going to be working with you on your capstone project. The values page is a big deal for us. It's a reason a lot of us joined GitLab, and I think it's a good way of setting what you should expect of us, the values on that page. Hold us to it.
All right, great. That's all we had.
Yeah, I was wondering, just to follow up, like for our like weekly meetings, would like this time be okay for everyone, or do we have to like schedule a separate time?
Yeah.
Speaking just for myself, like this is okay for me. It's probably not going to be okay for Michael, who's on this team and is based in Australia. But I also looked at your when to meet link, and it looks like this is actually the only slot that is best for your entire team. So I would be fine if Michael is also fine, like participating async. Gina?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think we should, on our side, we can talk to Michael about it and see what he feels. But if this is the time that works best for you, I think, I mean, that makes more sense. Michael he would be able to work in, I believe, like 6 p.m. Eastern time and later. Although that wouldn't work for Marcin, right? That'd be too late for you.
Sorry, what time?
6 p.m. Eastern, which is like 6 hours from now. That's too
No,
late.
probably
Yeah.
too late. But
Yeah.
you could go
One
go
possible
on without
benefit
me.
of that though is you know, if you all are working late at night and you need help from
True.
somebody, you might be able to reach out to Michael. It might be during his working hours.
True.
Or once we get the Slack channel going, you can
Mhm.
reach out async and get an async response when someone
Michael,
logs in.
Michael is very, very good at async. I've worked with him in a couple of groups.
Definitely. Yeah, and he is also a product designer. So if there are specific questions that you had about Figma or etc. He would be a great source to reach out to for that.
Okay, that sounds good. So would it be okay if I set like a weekly meeting, like calendar invite for this time for now? And then if there's any changes, can you please let me know?
Yes, that works.
Thank you.
Please do. I had that point in the agenda, but then I changed my mind and now I'm changing it again. When you do, if it's possible, could you set all of us as able to modify the invite? We're kind of used to having that setting in GitLab, and it's easier to, you know, move things around. Or like today, delete the Google Meet link that got added automatically. Thanks.
Yeah, but if I think if that's it for today's meeting, then thank you so much for um yeah joining this kickoff meeting with us, and see you guys next week maybe. Yeah. Thank
Hey,
you.
we are really excited to work with you.
Very excited. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.